In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a controller wallet that will hold your coins and also a remote wallet, which will be the one talking to the network. Now, the reason for this is that once you have activated the Masternode using the remote wallet, you can then take the controller wallet offline that holds your coins. So this is basically securing your coins. Okay. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to navigate to this URL, and then you need to come down here and you need to download these two files. The first one, the Transfercoin, this will be our controller wallet, okay? And the transferred exe, that will be the remote wallet. So download these and then we'll move on to the next stage. Now, when you install the wallet for the first time, it needs to sync to the network, and that can take a long time, and it can a lot of people get impatient with this. So the best way around that is to download a backup of the blockchain, which I will provide a link for in the description. And then all you need to do is replace a couple of files. So I'm just going to show you this. So what you do first is you actually start up the wallet, and that will create the directories in your roaming file, app data roaming, which I'll show you in a second. So once the directories are created, you would then close the wallet. So let me just show you. So I'll pull this across here. So here is the directory, and you can see, let me just move this across a bit. You can see where this is, okay? This is the location, all right? And you can see that there is all these files. Now, the most important ones, if I pull this across, is this one here, because that's all the data from the blockchain, and also this one here, which is some more files. So you basically, these two, if you can get an updated version of these two and just replace them, then you will speed up your time. Now, I will provide the link. You can download the new version, which will be in a zip file. You just need to unzip it. And when you unzip it, you'll have these two files, okay? So making sure that your wallet is offline, okay, what you can do is you can delete this one and this one, okay? Just delete them, simple as that, and then get the ones that you've downloaded and put them, okay, back in there. And that's that. So I just wanted to quickly show you that for people that have problems with syncing. Okay, so now let's have a look at adding a new address, and we need to send exactly 10,000 coins to our wallet. Okay, so the first thing we need to do once we have our wallet open is create a new address for the 10,000 coins. So if we come to the Receive tab, now you can use this default address. I like to create a new one. So just come down to new address, and I'm going to call this one crypto is key and underscore, and just call it 01, okay, and then just go okay. So this is the address that you'll need for when you send the coins to this wallet, okay. So we're just going to right click on that, copy address. Now I have 10,000 coins on Bittrex, so I'm going to come to Bittrex, and I have the wallets open here. So I'm going to come down to, I'm going to come up here to Transfercoin, and then I'm going to click on the minus sign to withdraw, and I'm going to paste in the address here. Now always double check that you've got the correct address, because I have made this mistake before. So I always check the two last letters, which is LMP, and the first two, which is TU. Okay, so if we just check this against this, okay, we've got LP and we've got TU. Okay, because there's nothing worse than losing coins. Okay, so we've got that. Now we need 10,000. So let's put in, that's 100,000, 10 million, 10,000. Now you're going to need to pay a fee. If you don't add this fee, it won't send exactly 10,000 to your wallet, and you need exactly 10,000. Okay, so you can see now that with adding this 0.02 of a fee, it's now given us exactly 10,000. Okay, so then click on withdraw, and I've got 2FA on this, so I'm just going to need that code, which is it's just generating a new one, and we got 460622. 460,622. Okay, and now I'm going to withdraw. Now that won't take too long to show up. Let's put on the dashboard. It usually takes, probably half a minute. So I'm just going to pause this video and then I'll come back when it's in the wallet. Okay, so the 10,000 has arrived, and if we just roll over here, just get this pop up, you'll notice that it's confirming 1 of 10. Okay, so we will make sure that we have at least 10 before we proceed any further. So I'll just pause the video and I'll come back when there's 10 confirmations. Okay, so now if I roll over, you can see that we have 10 confirmations. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to enable coin functions. So what you do is you come up to settings, options, display, and then make sure that this is checked, display coin control features. Okay, now this is very important because when you collect rewards from this 10K, you most likely want to probably spend them or use them for something else, and you need to be able to take them out of this wallet. So, and you don't want to disturb this 10K that you've got as the masternode. So when you do get rewards, you'll be able to actually send them out. If we go to send, you'll notice that we've got this inputs tab. Okay, so if you click on that, you'll see now that here is the 10K that we sent. As soon as we start getting rewards, they will mount up down here under this as a tree. Okay, and you'll be able to unselect that 10,000 and you won't need to disturb it, and you can spend all the rest. Okay, so that's the reason for that function. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, now I explained this in the Masternode local video that I did, but just in case you don't know how to do this, you need your internal IP for port forwarding for your router, and you also need your external IP. Now you need these for the configuration file. Okay, so if you don't know how to get your internal IP, come down to the start, type in here CMD, and then type up here ipconfig. Okay, and if you scroll up just here, it will be this one here, which is your IP4 address, 192.168.02. Okay, that's how you get the internal IP, right? To get the external IP, you need to go to here, what'smyip.org, and that will give you your external IP address. Okay. Now, once you have your internal IP, you can then port forward. Now, you'll need to find out what it is that you need to put up here to log into your router, into your modem. Now, every company is a bit different, but most of them are pretty much similar to this. And this is just in your browser, so you'll just put this in and then log in. And usually it's just admin and then another password, whatever your company gave to you or you set up when you first started. So what you need to do is you need to go and create a port forward so that you can get on the network. Okay, now with transfer, they use 17130. Okay, so the way that you do this is you go to your firewall. It could be slightly different depending on your router, but here you can see I've got virtual servers and port forwarding. Okay, and I've got a couple in here. So you can see the Transfercoin, sorry, it's 17170, and I've just made a range. Okay, and the way to you can see here is the actual internal IP. Okay, this is slightly different because I added this before and I've changed it, but you can see that this one here is the same. Okay, so just make sure that you go to add a new one, put in the description, which would be Transfercoin, then inbound and outbound would be, let me just do this, I'll do this for you so that it makes it easier. So I'm just going to put this in here. I'll just put that, sorry, transfer, always get muddled with these coins. I'll just call this transfer 1. And then just in here you would put the actual port that you need, which you'll need to do to talk to the network. And then in here you can just put the same, or just put in a range. You can just put in like 17171. It depends if you're only running one masternode. For this, I tend to choose both. just because it makes it a bit easier, just in case. I don't really know too much about this, but I know that this works. Okay, and here this will be your internal. So we just saw that it was 192.168, and then it was 2. Okay, and then down here you would just put the same as up here. So just copy that, put that in there, copy this one, and put that in there. Okay, and that's it. And then just add virtual server. Okay, and that's all you need to do to port forward. Okay, so that's that. So next we will actually open the configuration file and we will edit it. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is edit our configuration file. So if we come down to the start menu, and if we just type in % and then app data and then %, it should give us our roaming folder, which is where everything is. I already have this here, so I'm just going to open it. Okay, so what we need to do, I've already actually put some data in here, but I'm going to show you how to do this. So this is the conf file that you need to edit. Okay, so let me just open that and bring it across. So basically what you need to do is in this rpcuser you can type anything you want. Okay, it can be anything, a combination of numbers, and the same with this one down here, combination of numbers. Okay, and that's it. So this here is what you'll need for the transfer configuration file, and also all these nodes, okay, which I will leave in the description of this video. Now make sure that once you've edited this, that you click on File and then Save. Okay, now I've just opened this in Notepad. Okay, so that's the configuration file. It's pretty straightforward. Now next we will actually get the private key for the masternode, and we also need to get the output hash and output index for this transaction. Okay, so that's what we'll look at in the next part of this video. Okay, so before we get all the details to actually set up the controller masternode, to finish off with that, what we need to do is we need to create the remote folder. Okay, so we're going to place that in the same folder in roaming. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to copy the contents from the controller and use that on the remote, except we do not need the wallet. Okay, and we're also going to change the transfer a bit. We need to edit that a bit. So basically just copy everything except for the wallet. So we'll copy that. We'll come back to the main roaming folder, and I'm going to create a new folder in here, and I'm going to call this Transfer1. Okay, and then I'm going to paste in all those contents. Okay, so once we've got all those contents in, we will also need to edit this Transfercoin file, and we'll do that in the next part of the video. Okay, so in your Transfer1 folder that you've just created, okay, which is not your controller wallet, this is the one that will be on the network live, come down to your Transferconf. Now I've already edited this, so I'm going to show you what to do here. This is the same as the transfer configuration file from your controller wallet. Okay, so just add the same thing in here. Now you'll notice a couple of extra things, because this is going to be acting as the masternode. So you need to add in this, okay, and you need to, which is just saying it's a masternode, and this masternode address here, this is your external IP that I showed you here, that you get from whatsmyip.org. Okay, so that's that, and this, I'll just change this. This is the port that you port forwarded. Okay, now to get your masternode private key, this is how you do it. If you come over to your help and then debug window and console, and then in here you just need to, actually what we need to do first is we actually need to encrypt the wallet, so that we can use the passphrase to activate. Well, actually we don't need to. We can just get the private key without it because we haven't encrypted the wallet, but it is best practice to encrypt the wallet before you do all this. Okay. So the way that we get the private key is we type in here masternode and then space and then gen key. Okay, and that's going to give it to us. Normally you might have to, if you haven't encrypted, you might have to put your passphrase after gen key. Okay, so what you need to do is just actually, if you double click it and then copy it, and that is where you put your masternode private key and just paste that in there. Okay, so that's all you need. So I'll leave this example in the description, and you need to just change it with your details. Okay, so your IP obviously will be different here. Okay, but the port forward will be the same because that's what you would have port forwarded that. That's what you need for transfer. Okay, and then obviously your private key will be different. And your password up here and your username and password up here will be the same as you added to your controller transfer configuration. Okay, just make sure that you click on File and Save. And then in the next video, let me see, what are we going to be looking at in the next video? Okay, the next video we're going to actually add the masternode in the API here, through here. Okay. Okay, what I forgot to mention was that the second file that you downloaded, the transferred exe, we actually need this to go into our transfer1 folder, okay? Because this will be the activation for this wallet. Okay, this is actually the wallet, but it's just a raw version. It doesn't show the actual, the UI. Okay, so I just thought I'd mention that. It's a very important part of it. So just make sure you do that. And next we'll create the actual masternode in the API here. Okay, so to actually get the masternode into the API here, we need a couple more things. So the first thing that we have here is we have our IP, okay, our external IP. We have the port that we port forwarded. Now the masternode gen key that I just generated, we need that as well. Okay. Now we also need the transaction data for the actual 10,000. Okay, that we sent here. So the way that we do that is we go to the help, debug, and console, and in here we just need to put masternode and then outputs. Okay, make sure you put a space in between masternode and outputs and then enter. Now here you can see that we've got, this is the actual ID. Okay, I'll just copy that and I'll just put this over here. Okay, and we need this index. So the index is 0. Okay, so I'm just going to type in 0 there so I know that I have that. Okay, so now that we have got that, we can close that. Now you can actually do this manually, but I'm doing it because I like to see the masternode show up in the API. Okay, so now what we need to do now is we need to actually create the masternode. Okay, so we click on create. Now I have left the roaming transfer folder open here because I want to show you what happens here. It will create a masternode configuration file. Okay, now like I said, you can do this manually, but I like to do it through here because I like to see it in the API. Okay, now the alias, just call this the same as what you called your receiving address in the beginning, which I called mine crypto is key and then underscore 01. Okay, now the address here is your external IP and your port together. Okay, so that's what you put in there. Let's put that in there. The next thing we need for the private key, now that's our masternode gen key. Okay, so just copy that, and you can actually use this for pasting. So paste that in there. Now our TX hash is what we just generated then from our transaction. Okay, so that's this one. So we'll paste it in there, and last but not least is the 0. Okay, so I'll just type in 0. Okay, right, now that's that. Now we're going to click on OK. Now that will take a second, And you can see over here the Masternode configuration file has already been created. It will take a second for this to load. Just wait for it to load and it will tell you that it's not on the network. Okay, it's coming, don't worry, it's coming. It'll just pop up there any minute or any second. You will see this actually appear. Okay, sometimes it takes a couple of seconds to appear. There it is. Okay, so you can see here it says not in the Masternode list. Now this is not going to work at this stage. What we need to do now is we need to create a bat file that we can activate the transfer wallet. Okay, so that's what we'll do in this next video. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to create a .bat file, and what that file will do is when we double click it, it will actually activate this wallet file, okay, and it will put everything alive on the network. So the way that we do that is you can just right click on the desktop and go to new and then text document. Now just make sure that you highlight the whole lot, and you can call this anything you want. You can call it you know, to the moon .bat, okay, and then enter and then yes. So now we've got this file. Now we need to input some data, and what we need to do is we need to put the location of where this file, this transfer.exe is on our computer. So if we look up here, if we just click in here, you can see this is the location, okay? So, but that's not exactly what we're going to put. I'm going to show you what we're going to put. So what we need to do is we need to edit this file. So right click on it, click on edit, and if it asks you what program, make sure that you choose Notepad because that's the easiest. Now I already have it written out for you over here, so I'm going to grab this from over here and I'm going to paste it in here, and I'll explain to you what this is. Okay, so you can see here that we've got this, okay, is this, so it's the location, okay, to the transfer1 folder. Next, you can see I've got a / and then transferred.exe. Okay, now that's referring to this. So if we take away this part, I'll just cut that out for a minute. This here is referring to this address and then pointing to this. Okay. Now the second part is we need to fire it. Okay, so I'll just put this back. So you're going to add, put a space in here, and then a minus sign, and then data directory equals, and then again put this in here. Okay, so I'll leave that in the description so you can see what it is, but that's basically what you do, and then just click on save. Okay, and that is that. So next we're going to fire this up. Okay, now I just wanted to show you something. Now if your bat won't fire, that's because, look, I just want to show you something quickly here. If you see the exe, the way it's spelled, F-E-R-E-D, you'll notice down here it's only F-E-R-D. Okay, so we just need to make sure that that E right there is taken out. Okay, and then I'll just save that again. Right. Okay, so let's start this up. Let's see if we can get this to work. So the first thing we'll do is we'll double click on the bat file. Okay, that will bring up the window, so that's good, it stayed there. Now that's active. Okay, we'll just drag that across. Now we have this. All we need to do is click on start all. Now if everything goes well, this will change. But first I want to click on update. Now let's hope everything goes well. I'm going to click on start all. It says successfully started 1 masternodes. Okay, so we go okay. Now let's, hopefully this will change in a second. We'll just wait for it to update, and it should actually I'll just update. Yep, there we go. So click on update. Masternode is running. Okay, now if we have a look at our IP address, okay, you can come over to transfer network, and you'll notice that here is my one. Okay, you'll see this. Now don't be alarmed, this can take about 30 minutes before this will change. Okay, but there we have it. We have a successful controller wallet sorted, and also the transfer. Now, what you can do is you can actually close this wallet. Okay, you can close it, and it will continue to act as a masternode because you have the transfer wallet activated here. Now, by closing this wallet, what it will mean is you are making sure that your coins are secure because they're offline. Okay, so I hope that helps. Now, if you need any more further help, don't be shy. Make sure that you ask me any questions you want down in the description, and also subscribe. And if you feel like donating, that would be great. I'll leave my transfer wallet address, and although all the funds that I receive for donations will be going back to the development of this coin. Okay, so enjoy.